Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back. Wouldn't it be weird if I started all my videos like that? How strange would that be? I honestly don't think I could keep that up for this amount of videos that I've been making on the channel. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to a new video on the channel. Welcome to a new car. And it's not this, what you're seeing on the screen, but this is the benchmark, in my opinion, of being the best hot hatch in this game. I love this little car. The Clio RS16 concept, I guess it's called. What's it called exactly? The Renault Clio RS16 concept. It is actually called that. Basically, this car was added into the game a long time ago. I made one little short video about this car, just kind of testing it out, and I immediately just fell in love with it because it was the perfect hot hatch. I couldn't think of anything better as a hot hatch over this car. Genuinely, I absolutely adored this little car. And I don't think I've given it enough props or enough justice, I guess. I didn't show it off enough, in my opinion. So I think I want to make a very separate video on this car. I ended up driving it yesterday, but also there's a brand new car that was added into the game. A new hatchback, which I think is weird in some ways, but it also could be kind of fun due to its, I guess, siblings in this game. It's a Lincoln Co. It's the Lincoln Co. 02? How do I get it? Oh, it's already added to my garage. I think I might have had it added into my garage already. I did. There it is. The 02 hatchback. So it's an interesting little car. I think this has definitely better proportions than the 05. And the same with the 03. The 03 and this just look like they're supposed to look the way they look, right? I don't hate the three-step lights or whatever as much as I do on this. This is like the crossover version of the other cars. It's so weird that they went with the exact same design on every single one of these cars. The front bumper is just ever so slightly different, right? But this thing here, 251 horsepower, 350 newton meters of torque, and it weighs 1,580 kilos, but it's front engine and it's front wheel drive, and that is also fun. That could be fun if it's built properly. I think this needs less power, or less weight. However, it also feels a little big. It does have an engine, of course. I don't even know what sort of engine it has, actually. I even just looked at it. It's a 2-liter. Has a 2-liter engine. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the exact same as the ones that's in the 03 Plus or whatever, where it's just a looks a little big, but this looks a little bit more proportionate than the crossover that we had that we've taken a look at. This definitely seems a lot more proportionate. It does seem like it wants to grip up quite a lot as well, just like I said, like its siblings. The other two cars, the 03s, are unreal in this game. They're actually just really, really good cars in general. Once you add, just add a few parts to it and make them good, like upgrade them, they're actually sick in this game. But like I said, with this thing, I kind of wanted to build this thing to hopefully try and rival the Clio. I think the Clio is the best hot hatch in this game. Like I said, I really want to make a video on it because it's just such a good car. I think they only ended up like releasing it once in this game and they've never released it again. Or is it a DLC car? See, I don't even remember how the Clio even got into this game because it's not a car pass car. So I think it was just a car that was added into the game through the festival playlist and then they just never added it again. But this is pretty much what this thing is like, completely stock. It's not particularly fast. It is quite nice when it comes to turning in response. It's quite good. It just wants to get a little bit sideways, a little oversteery, which again is very good for a front wheel drive car. It means it's kind of lively and plays around a little bit. That's what the Clio's like as well. But I think this thing needs less weight, right? It needs to be a little bit more lighter on its, like, I can't really say feet, but lighter on its tires, I guess. So the first and most important thing that I'm going to do to this thing is weight reduction. And now it should be even more fun to play with. So ideally, what I want out of this car is I want it to just be very agile. That's literally it. And I want it to just be fun like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put race suspension on it. I don't even know if I want to really change the tires on this thing. I'm going to give it some better brakes, of course. But lightness. I just want a lot of lightness with this car. And I think that would be perfect. Visually, we can't really change much. It's just the disgusting Forza parts. Even like for this. Like, why would you even put that wing available for this thing? Like, who actually genuinely picks this thing? Like, it's just so absolutely massive. Surely there's other wings that you can have on this game for hatchbacks that you can have them to be adjustable, that you don't need to have this massive wing at the back that just looks horrific. We'll have a look though at everything though. We can put rally engine in it, and we can put a racing V8 in this thing, just like in the other cars. I also don't want to change this thing from front wheel drive. I don't even know if I want to give this thing more power, to be honest with you. I think this could be just like this. It could be very fun. It is on street tires, which means it's not completely useless in terms of grip. I actually don't really mind the grip at all on this thing, like I said. But I will give it slightly wider tires, especially if we're going to get this thing to be super quick in like changing directions and all that sort of stuff. Put a transmission in it, and I'll buy a race diff as well for it. And again, I only want this thing to make just tiny bit of extra power. I want to keep it just at the top of B class, which I don't think is even possible by the looks of things, because everything that I add onto this thing will just end up bringing it all the way up into, there you go, we'll just get the flywheel, I guess. Alright, let's just drive it like this, because I feel like this could be kind of fun. I don't really care about it being like even remotely fast around the track. I just want it to be a fun car to drive. And if you've ever driven like a quick, very agile front-wheel drive car, then you'll know that this does have the potential to be quite good. Now for the design and paints, let's have a quick look at see what colors we have for this thing. Oh, really? Is that it? I was gonna say, surely we have somewhere like interesting colors that we can slap on this car. The only thing about this though that I kind of like is that it has a two-tone for the roof as well. But we can actually do this, and we can do that. So we can have the roof painted black. We can have paint group 1, which then we can change to something else. Like, why wouldn't they like allow something like this blue for something, or something more interesting on this car? I don't know, there's something about this like turquoise type of color that I really like on a lot of cars. I don't know why. I'm also very tempted to put like a Hot Wheels color on it just to make it even more funky looking. With all these different flakes in this paint. You know what? Let's do it. Why not? We'll pick this kind of like darkish, like turquoise color that I like. We'll slap it on. I actually really like the wheels on this thing as well. I think Lake & Co. actually don't make bad looking cars. I think visually, I think this is a good looking car. The only thing I don't really like is the 3-step like lights at the front. I'm not a massive fan of that. It just reminds me of the Nissan Juke too much, and I really didn't like the Juke, like the first generation. I'm just not a big fan of that. It just looks a little odd. However, though, overall the rest of it is quite nice. I think the dimensions just seem right. Lots of wheel spin, which again is fine. I don't really want this thing to have like too much grip, because that just ruins the fun. Okay. I'm liking this already so far. Actually, this is a perfect track to test it out on. If you guys have watched a stream that I made yesterday, I ended up streaming on the Golden Target. It's been a while since I was on this track, and then I went on the Golden Target with the Clio, and it was one of the funnest experiences ever. So, we'll do the same thing and try to test this thing out there. But I think this is still too heavy. I mean, again, I don't think I can compare it to the Clio, for example. I think this is definitely like more of like a Golf GTI type of comparison. And for that, it's a little closer to the weight, because I'm pretty sure the Golf GTI weighs about like just a little under 1,400 kilos. Maybe not the brand new one, actually. The brand new one, the Mark 8, maybe weighs a tiny bit more, but the Mark 7 I know for a fact it weighs about 1,300 and something kilos. Oh my god, okay. What happened there? It's like complete lack of brakes. Fully just brakeless. Let's try that again. I feel like I slowed down, but I slowed down incredibly late. I went way too fast. Okay, there we go. Much better. A little bit of understeer from the front wheels. Just kind of use the handbrake to turn into the corners as well, for some of them. I don't really care about the time here to set. I just want to be able to enjoy the way this thing drives. It actually is quite good. I'm tempted to build like a proper like race spec version of this thing though. Because even with the street tires right now, it actually does a really good job at holding on and gripping up quite nicely. See what I mean? And this is only on street tires. Could you imagine what this thing would be like if it was on just like full-on racing slicks? Okay. I can still use the handbrake to go around corners though. A couple of pops for the exhaust as well. Okay, I like it. I like it. This is the thing about front-wheel drive cars though. They can be incredibly fun to play with if you drive them properly. Obviously, if you fly into a corner really slow, you start slamming on the accelerator and you start understeering everywhere. Of course, it's not going to be very fun. But if you know how to handle them, they can be really, really good. I genuinely think that this could be an unreal little car. And I kind of want to keep it front-wheel drive the entire time as well. Man, the amount of grip that this thing has around corners is stupid. For a car with sports tires. Oh, sorry, street tires even. Okay, there you go. There's a bit of that understeer that we were talking about. So you can still get this thing to understeer. If you don't drive it properly. I think I should just, as soon as it starts understeering, I'm going to just whip the handbrake. Just rip the handbrake and then whip the back end out. It'll start pointing its nose inwards. Guarantee it. It's what I used to do in real life as well. All the time. I used to drive my GTI. Actually, this was back when I first had a Golf, like at the very beginning. My first car was a Golf, but it was like a crappy little Golf Mark IV. And that thing had like horrific, like tiny little tires. Very narrow tires. So the thing would like understeer a lot. So obviously to kind of counter the understeer, I would like obviously try to do a bunch of dumb things like lift off oversteer and like rip the handbrake every now and then just so I can get the front end to point the right direction. It's kind of where I learned to drive a front-wheel drive car, like, fast. Is at the very beginning when I first started learning how to drive. Because I obviously was into cars, like, forever, right? And I always tried to learn as much as I possibly could from every single car that I've owned, you know, just how to drive it. I feel like that's a thing that a lot of people need to do though, like in real life, like especially in the wet. The wet is like one of the best times to do all that sort of stuff. Obviously, there's less wear on your tires, but obviously there's more slip, so it's better for you to learn it on your own, like just doing stuff like that, like basically what I've just been doing. It just makes you a more competent driver when you're driving in like on like surfaces that have like less grip, you know, because there's so many accidents and so many crashes that you see once the roads get like wet out, right? Or once there's like a little bit of snow out or something like that. And it's just, if you just take the time a little bit, like when it's like an, you know, open road or something like that, if you're driving around a roundabout, you know, just, you know, whip the handbrake a little bit, just to see what happens, you know? Like obviously don't lock it out or anything, just a little tap. See how the car reacts. Driving it into a corner just a little bit too quickly. See how the car reacts, you know? Just push its boundaries and know how your tires react to certain circumstances. I've done this since I started learning how to drive. I think it's just because, like I said, I'm a car nerd, but I don't think a regular person would end up doing that because obviously they don't want to crash or anything like that. But just pushing it a little bit more and a little bit more. Obviously not when there's traffic around, you know, because it's stupid to do it. But when you're on your own, just kind of learning what your car is capable of, and then you know like what your braking distance is gonna be in the wet. You know, how much you should turn the car, like how quickly you should be going into corners during like the wet, or when you're even in the dry as well, you know. It'll prevent you from causing accidents, you know, crashing and stuff. But I think everybody should do that, even with rear-wheel drive cars as well. Like let's say you're in a roundabout and there's nobody around you, it's like, what happens if I just floor it right now, you know? Like what's the worst that could happen? You know, you spin out, well, who cares, you know? Like you're learning kind of like how your car works underneath you, you know, as you're driving. I don't know how I got off topic so quickly, but it's just just with this car. I really like it. I think it's very, very fun. Again, I don't really go for a time there, but I think if I tune this thing up to like A-class or something, and I put some good tires on it, I think this could be a really fast car. Because even with, like I said, with these street tires on it, it's good. But, man, it just feels like it could go so fast if you just slap on some good tires on it. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to build this thing to the top of A-class. With the same tires, same everything. Everything else is pretty much upgraded. The only thing now I need to do is just add a little bit more power to it. So let's build it just to the top of A-class. And see what it's capable of now. Okay, there we go. So 357 horsepower and it weighs 1,232 kilos. And again, it's still front-wheel drive. I wanted to keep it front-wheel drive still. Do I add all the disgusting Forza parts? I think I do, right? I think I do add them in. Just to, of course, increase the grip of this thing. Like, I obviously want it to be as fast as I possibly can now on this little track. And since I'm testing it out on the Golden Toge, might be a little bit of an interesting task. Like, what can I really change on it now? Intercooler, maybe? I mean, it kind of adds a little bit of weight, but it's fine. Alright, 381 kilos, or 381 horsepower, 1,244 kilos, and it's now in A-class. Alright, full front-wheel drive setup. The only thing I'm going to do now is kind of adjust my downforce a little bit, but other than that, that's pretty much it. Alright, let's send it out on the track. Actually, what I want to do is I want to have a real quick look at some of the times that we see on the Golden Toge from cars that you guys have sent me. So, fastest A-class cars, we have Ford Focus RS. I think that's the fastest one with a 435. So if I get anywhere close to a 435 with this thing, then we're absolutely, like, just laughing. But we'll see. We will see. Also, since I'm taking this a little bit more seriously now, I'm going to be racing in the cockpit. I just have a little bit more control over the car, especially on this track in cockpit view, so we'll do that. Lots of understeer, which is fine. It does grip up so nicely though. Holy shit. I told you. I told you this thing is just like its other siblings in this game. Things just grip up like crazy. Oh my god, I love this car. You just have to be a little bit more careful with your throttle. I mean, you have to be very quick with your braking and your throttle. You just kind of have to really just control it in the corner. Like, you can't just go flat out, you know? And same with the brakes. You can't just slam onto the brakes because that back end will lift off the ground, and obviously all the weight will go to the front wheels, and that thing would just like start pulling into the corner a bit too much. So again, it's all just about balance. It's all about balance with this thing, but if you catch it just right, it is so rewarding how well this thing just rips through these corners. I think I built quite a decent car here. Oh. on, come on, come on, come on. Come on. There it is. I stayed quiet for the entire run because I wanted to concentrate this time around instead of crashing into the wall. So the fastest, like I said, run that I've done with the Focus that someone set me was a 4:35.6. And with this thing, again, basically just 2 runs. One of them I crashed and the other one I just kind of stayed quiet on so I could concentrate. Did a 4:34. Not bad. Basically a second faster. It's a good car. I mean, I can't really say anything really bad about it. I knew it was gonna be good just because of the Link & Co name, because I think they for whatever reason in this game they really wanted to make all these cars just really, really good. Maybe they are in real life. Maybe they're just very good handling cars, but even in this game, it actually is a very, very fun car to drive. I definitely would recommend getting this thing and driving it and giving it a shot. It's super, super easy to tune and to control. Apart from like the couple of taps off the guardrails, I haven't really done anything crazy. You've seen in that run anyway. It just kind of keep the front wheel drive system kind of controlled. I mean, it does put out like 380 horsepower and it's all going to the rear wheels. Or sorry, to the front wheels. So it's a little bit sketchy at some points, but again, if you're just smooth on the throttle, like you don't floor it as you're coming out of the corners and you're just kind of easing onto it. Or even if you just kind of, you know, push it to the point where you feel like it's slipping and then you just kind of let off a tiny bit. It's easy to control. And again, like the turn and response and everything of this thing, like even with the street tires that I had on, like when it's completely stock, it just felt really, really good as well. It's a really, really good car. I honestly, I can't really say anything like crazy bad about it or anything like that. It's a fun little car to drive. Let me know if you want to see a video on the Clio though. I think the Clio is going to be an unreal little car. I haven't actually, like I said, built it for anything yet, so I think if I put maybe like race tires on a thing, then it's game over for pretty much every hatchback in this game, but or any front wheel drive in this game, but except for, was it the Tachyon? That's the one car that you can't really like beat, and I think that's front wheel drive as well. It's a ridiculous car, but that's on a different level because it's completely banned for any sort of like online racing or anything like that because it's just so broken. I made a video on that as well, which you guys can watch on the channel. But yeah, the Link & Co 02, I like it. Like it's a very, very good car. It feels like it belongs up there with some of the fastest hatchbacks in this game and some of the best handling hatchbacks in this game. But again, it's a car that I just wouldn't really expect it to be this good. I don't know why. It's from a brand that I've never heard of, obviously, since like ever until I played this game, obviously. And yeah, but yeah, it's a really good car. Give it a shot for yourselves. Let me know what you think of this thing. Maybe you built it for drifting. You know, maybe you all-wheel drive swap this thing. Maybe you built it for whatever else. Let me know down in the comments below if you've made anything interesting out of this car that's not for just straight up racing like this. Also, let me know of the Golden Tollgate. Should I bring the track back a little bit in the videos? Because I'm definitely down to do that. Maybe showcasing some other cars on this track. Maybe even accepting tunes for this track again and try to play with the little list of cars. Because again, it's always fun to hop back on this track, especially because I don't really play it often anymore. It's just basically the downhill section of this game, you know, the mountain pass, except it's made narrower and a little bit more difficult to kind of keep in play. But yeah, also that gap kind of gets a lot of the cars out, because for some of them it's going to be very difficult to do what I just did with this thing. But I felt so confident in this car that I could just go full throttle in it, because I kind of like just the driver's position, right, like where you are in the car is just so easy to just see how big your car is, or how basically kind of feel how big your car is. Because sometimes you'd sit in the car like the way I'm playing in cockpit view, and I won't be able to tell how close I am to any of the walls. And that's what it was like the first lap that I did, or the first run that I did with this car. And you saw me crash into the wall, you know? So, yeah, again, just after that, it's just piece of cake. It's just very easy. Yeah, well, I'm going to outro the video now. Thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed today's quick little video. It was not even quick, actually. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video on the Link & Co hatchback. It's a fun car. Try it for yourselves. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll let you guys watch the rest of this thing while I outro now. I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye, everyone. Have a good day.